Chapter 14. Why he despised Greek literature and easily learned Latin. But why, then, did I dislike Greek learning, which was full of like tales? For Homer was skilled in inventing similar stories, and is most sweetly vain, yet was he disagreeable to me as a boy. I believe Virgil, indeed, would be the same to the Grecian children, if compelled to learn him as I was Homer. The difficulty of learning a foreign language mingled as it were with gall all the sweetness of those fabulous Grecian stories. For not a single word of it did I understand, and to make me do so they vehemently urged me with cruel threatenings and punishments. There was a time also when, as an infant, I knew no Latin, but this I required without any fear or tormenting, by merely taking notice, amid the blandishments of my nurses, the jests of those who smiled on me, and the sportiveness of those who toyed with me. I learned all this, indeed, without being urged by any pressure of punishment, for my own heart urged me to bring forth its own conceptions, which I could not do unless by learning words, not of those who taught me, but of those who talked to me, into whose ears also I brought forth whatever I discerned. From this it is sufficiently clear that a free curiosity hath more influence in our learning these things than a necessity full of fear. Think about this in relation to your understanding of God, man. But this last restrains the overflowings of that freedom. Though thy laws, O God, thy laws from the furile of the schoolmaster to the trials of the martyr, being effective to mingle for us a salutary bitter, calling us back to thyself from the pernicious delights which allure us from thee. But the laws of God are all oriented towards a proper understanding of the hierarchy of loves, as you yourself will say at some point. Free curiosity hath more influence in our learning than a necessity full of fear. The manner in which we learn something influences whether or not we will own it as our own, or claim it as our own. Chapter 15. He entreats God that whatever useful things he learned as a boy may be dedicated to him. Hear my prayer, O Lord. Let not my soul faint under thy discipline, nor let me faint in confessing unto thee thy mercies, whereby thou hast saved me from all my most mischievous ways. That thou mightest become sweet to me beyond all the seductions which I used to follow, and that I may love thee entirely, and grasp thy hand with my whole heart, and that thou mayest deliver me from every temptation, even unto the end. For lo, O Lord, my King and my God, for thy service be whatever useful thing I learnt as a boy, for thy service what I speak and write and count. For when I learned vain things, thou didst grant me thy discipline, and my sin in taking delight in those vanities thou hast forgiven me. I learned, indeed, in them many useful words, but these may be learned in things not vain, and that is the safe way for use to walk in. Chapter 16. He disapproves of the mode of educating youth, and he points out why wickedness is attributed to the gods by poets. But woe unto thee, thou stream of human custom! Who shall stay thy course? How long shall it be before thou art dried up? How long wilt thou carry down the sons of Eve into that huge and formidable ocean which even they who are embarked on the cross, lignum, can scarce pass over? I do not read in thee of Jove the thunderer and adulterer? And the two verily he could not be, but it was that, while the fictitious thunder served as a cloak, he might have warrant to imitate real adultery. Yet which of our gowned masters can lead a temperate ear to a man of of his school who cries out and says, these were Homer's fictions. He transfers things human to the gods. I could have wished him to transfer divine things to us. But it would have been more true had he said, these are indeed his fictions, but he attributed divine attributes to sinful men, that crimes might not be accounted crimes, and that whosoever committed any might appear to imitate the celestial gods and not abandoned men. I mean, this is a good point, that the vices of the quote gods, it's the combination of characteristics that are truly divine with things that are truly debased. But I think the instructive element in these stories is that even given immortality, for example, the acts themselves still bear their own fruit, and that fruit is destructive, even if somehow the gods are indestructible. And yet, thou stream of hell, into thee are cast the sons of men with rewards for learning these things, and much is made of it when this is going on in the forum of sight of in the forum in the sight of laws which grant a salary over and above the rewards. And thou beatest against thy rocks and roarest, saying, hence words are learnt, hence eloquence is to be attained, most necessary to persuade people to your way of thinking, and to unfold your opinions. So in truth we should never have understood these words, golden shower, bosom, intrigue, highest heavens, and other words written in the same place, unless Terence had introduced a good-for-nothing youth upon the stage, setting up Jove as his example of lewdness. Viewing a picture, where the tale was drawn, of Jove's descending in a golden shower, to Danae's bosom, with a woman to intrigue. And see how he excites himself to lust, as if by celestial authority, when he says, great Jove, who shakes the highest heavens with his thunder, and I, poor mortal man, do not do the same. I did it, and with all my heart I did it. Not one whit more easily are the words learnt for this vileness, but by their means is the vileness perpetrated with more confidence. I do not blame the words, they being, as it were, choice and precious vessels, but the wine of error, which is drunk in them to us by inebriated teachers, and unless we drank, we were beaten, without liberty of appeal to any sober judge. And yet, O my God, in whose presence I can now with security recall this, did I, unhappy one, learn these things willingly and with delight, and for this was I called a boy of good promise.